Jon Stewart and Jimmy Kimmel are leading the way in proving just what we told you would happen. They're sliming anybody who said, I'm not watching Bad Bunny. Today we'll tell you what the strategy is from the mainstream, lamestream, going extinct dinosaur media as they try to claim narrative control once again and convince you that Bad Bunny is the biggest artist on the planet, even though nobody knew his name just 6 months ago. Hello folks, hello friends, welcome back yet again. Another fantastic video of excellence on the way, in a way that only the Hollyweirds can dream of proclaiming. Folks, as we dive in, click the like button, drop a comment, and subscribe. And you know what? If you see the hype button, the time is always ripe to hit the hype. See what we did there? From The Hollywood Reporter by Abid Rahman. When did the right become such blanking blanketies? Says the ever, shall we say, well-spoken Jon Stewart, mocking conservatives and their meltdown over Bad Bunny. Hunter Hess, the Daily Show host, expertly picked apart the performative outrage on the right during a particularly busy weekend in America's ongoing culture wars. You can summarize this down. They're angry. They're mad. You didn't watch him. You didn't do what they thought you were going to do. They were expecting to say, ha ha, TPUSA didn't win. Ha ha, you bunch of dumb rubes. You MAGA folk out there, you have no power. And instead, it's time to shame and blame. Here's what they say. The right-wing meltdown over Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show performance had Jon Stewart fired up more than usual. On a particularly ridiculous weekend in America's ongoing culture wars that took in the Super Bowl, the Winter Olympics, and the disgustingly raucous social media post by Donald Trump's account. By the way, they took that down and said it was a crazy intern that posted it. I don't know, but Trump has been very forthright in saying it was inappropriate. The host began the segment with a compilation of the usual right-wing talking heads, including Megyn Kelly, Benny Johnson, and Fox News finest, performatively complaining about the Super Bowl halftime show being performed in Spanish. Stewart then jump cut to Kid Rock performing his own song, Bow It Da Ba, which boasts a chorus of pure gibberish. Focusing on Kid Rock and the TPUSA alternative and very anti-woke halftime show that was staged at the same time as Bad Bunny was performing on Sunday, Stewart also highlighted the performance of Lee Brice in a new song, It Ain't Easy Being Country, taking great delight in the unintentional absurdity of the lyrics. And you get the idea. So Jon Stewart spent a long time, and here's how he finished this up. He said, it's actually blanking pathetic. The gap between the power you all wield and the victimhood you all claim is the real offense. If you didn't actually have the power to do so much damage in our country, I think we all dismiss it as weak and a pathetic pity party, says Jon Stewart. Now, the reason for this is because this had an effect. Otherwise, they would not be talking about this. They would not be saying this. Guys, they have moved on to the exact prediction we made right here on the Pro Show, which is, number one, claim it never happened. Claim it was absolutely ineffective. But then number two, claim that the people who were engaged in it are pathetic losers of an older era, hate-mongering, phobos and all that. Jon Stewart taking the lead. Mo, I begin with you. Is this going to be effective now that they've switched over to the hatred mode?
No, because if Jon Stewart saw that halftime show happening right outside his house, he'd call the police immediately. All right, let's be serious. It's
lock the doors.
Yes. He would just be like, hey, help, you know. So, but yeah, no, it's all.
They're grinding on my driveway. They're grinding on my driveway. That's what he was saying.
The monster is dying and it's lashing out and it's trying to whip out its tentacles to catch anybody it can. And it's just pathetic. He thinks that he's making a salient point and it's just silly. I don't think with the normies, I don't think it's just carrying any kind of weight like it used to. He's not the Jon Stewart of the late 2000s, early 2010s, where even some of us watched him when we were younger. But I just don't think that it has any kind. It's just pathetic. Like, they can't build themselves up without knocking other people down. You don't have to do that. If you won, you just say you won and you move on. It's perfect. It's just by the book the way they do this crap, and it's getting really old and sad.
Can I tell you though, one of them slipped up. One of them messed up. One of them with a very low IQ. His wife may have written the joke. They don't even understand what they're doing, okay? We understand them better than they understand themselves, but he messed up. Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, I was wondering if you were going to go to the guy who always cries on broadcast television to do the rebuttal of Jon Stewart, wondering when America became infantilized.
Well, he is going to be infantilized right now because Jimmy Kimmel did not understand what he was saying exactly and mocked the liberals over this. Here is Jimmy Kimmel talking about the Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime. This is part of, by the way, of a broader attack on conservatives that he did. But we're going to pull this out because it's funny that he didn't quite catch on what he was saying.
This week, almost every liberal I know suddenly really into Bad Bunny. I mean, people I've never heard say the words bad or bunny in their lives. Like, I can't wait for Bad Bunny. Oh.
Do you guys hear the difference in the audience?
Yeah.
Do you guys notice this? That's authentic laughing and clapping. We play a lot of Jimmy Kimmel clips here. He gives us plenty of fodder. And I can tell you that we have heard lots of applause for Jimmy Kimmel, and it's always the barking seals. Because the applause sign was turned on. Listen again, folks. This is authentic. They're laughing genuinely. They think this is funny.
Like, I can't wait for Bad Bunny. Oh. What's your favorite Bad Bunny song? I don't know, but I love him. I love Bad Bunny. Here's the thing on me. Did I know any of the songs Bad Bunny was singing? Absolutely not. Never heard even 1 second of one of them. Did I understand any of what he was singing? Yes, the word nunca. That was it.
That's the first time we've ever played a genuinely funny clip from Jimmy Kimmel, I just want to say. But I don't think he got it. This was part of a broader attack on conservatives. He would go back to doing that. This is what I think is going on, guys. There is a game right now where if you didn't know who Bad Bunny was 2 weeks ago, but he's the biggest artist in the world now, and you have to hold that position if you're of the tribe, right? That is the modern message. That is what they've been told they have to say. They believe it now. Biggest artist of our generation. And anybody who disagrees with that is now labeled what Jon Stewart is saying, right? What Jon Stewart and Jimmy Kimmel for the rest of his monologue. We won't play it, but he goes on the attack as well. Don't think that he's just doing that. But Jon Stewart is sort of giving us the message. If you didn't like Bad Bunny, if you don't like the lyrics that are incredibly offensive, if you didn't like that, stop being such a blanky blank. That's what they're saying about you.
You know, looking at this, it's again, I have to go back to this idea. Which side is more known for crying on broadcast television and cable television? Mm-hmm. Whereas a lot of this is we hate this because it's a waste of time. Here's the real problem. This could have been awesome, and it wasn't awesome. It was something where they tried to make a point out of it. And nobody's having a real interaction when one side is trying to stick a finger in your eye and say, you will enjoy this or we will call you bad names. This is, it doesn't bring the country together for one side to say, you will like this or the beatings will continue, as ineffective as those beatings are anymore these days. It's 2026. If they tried to pull this in 2019, okay, sure, we'll all be quiet. We'll sit in our cubicles. We won't say anything. But this is 2026, and the internet is here. X has free speech, and nobody wants to say, no, we're fine with this. They're going to roll their eyes about it, and they're going to say exactly what it is. They're trying to make something out of it, and we're not playing along anymore. We're not participating in the gaslighting. Go sell crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
The thing that they always say is like, well, if you don't like it, go do your own thing. Knowing that was never an option when it came to things like movies and halftime shows. Somebody finally goes and does their own thing. And now they're like livid about it because you have to consume their media even if you don't like it. It's the old that Charlie's Angels headline where it's like, straight white men, this movie is not made for you. And then 2 weeks later, same publication, same picture. Why didn't straight white men go see this movie? They can't stand it when they say if you don't like it, don't watch, and people actually do it.
And that's what we've seen with Lucasfilm, right? This is a repeat. But the other thing to know, this guy's been on Jimmy Fallon. Kimmel is bragging him up, and we've got all the Rolling Stones saying he's the biggest artist of our generation. All this is all made up. None of this is real. You didn't know who this guy was 6 months ago. He doesn't sing about unity. He doesn't have a message, that resonates. He sings ludicrously graphic lyrics about reproducing with women. That's what he does. This is all this guy is. He is just scatological, hypersexualized lyrics from a guy that really can't sing. And I'm not saying that you watch the Super Bowl, folks. Even if you spoke Spanish, you don't know what he said. He didn't really sing it. But there's a lot of thrusting. There's a lot of thrusting from power lines and from old antique trucks in sugarcane fields. And we're supposed to believe that this is the Michael Jackson of our era. Now I know Michael Jackson, different issues, right? This is our Metallica. This is Aerosmith. This is Bruce Springsteen. This is Madonna. I mean, we can go through the list. This guy right here is supposed to be the cultural moment. He can't sing. He has, it's just bizarre. This is all made up. And what they're saying is, if you don't buy into our psyop, we're going to call you mean names because you didn't do what we thought you would do. We thought you were too lazy and you just sit there and watch it, and you didn't do it. And now we're mad.
I mean, Variety had an article that was just like Bad Bunny did an American classic show, and Kid Rock was lip syncing in front of no people, and blah, blah, blah. And People Magazine did an entire thing about which had more views, Turning Point USA or the Super Bowl? Obviously, the Super Bowl. Come on, there was no universe in which Turning Point USA was going to outdraw the Super Bowl halftime show. The point of it was not to beat Apollo Creed in that fight. The point of it was to go the distance, to show that you can hang with Apollo Creed.
And for them, just remember, the truth doesn't matter. They don't believe in it. This is about narrative power wielded for political power. That is the whole game here. This guy is not somebody that Americans want to be an icon. You're not going to go listen to his music. You're not going to, maybe some people are doing that, but not the vast majority. This is entirely top to bottom synthetic for a political message. And what is the political message? Yet again, they're obsessed with the orange man. This guy, for whatever reason, has been elected as the standard bearer, the musical standard bearer against Orange Godzilla. They never move on. It is President Trump, unfortunately, is he is the sun in their solar system. Everything they do is focused on that from top to bottom every single day, from when they wake up to when they go to sleep. And that's what this is about.
Bad Bunny made a big mistake in that regard, though, because, and you've seen it in the memes where he talked about America, the continent, right? So did you also just justify everything that President Trump did in Venezuela? Well, good going, Bad Bunny. Thanks for that.
Well, so I saw a thing that was it was like a parody reel, and it was a Democratic candidate in 2026, and it was well, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to oppose Donald Trump, and I'm going to fight Donald Trump, and Donald Trump this and Donald Trump that. Okay, well, what are you going to do in 2 years when Trump's out of office? And they're short circuiting because they don't have an actual platform outside of oppose Orange Man.
It's really news media on easy mode for them. It's kind of fascinating, especially with the Biden stuff. All they did was run defense. When Obama was in office, it was an 8-year nap. So with Trump, he's a guy with a laser pointer, and they're a bunch of cats. It's very exciting for them, but essentially they're not doing anything. So this is the most important thing to them.
Oh, and I'm certain that he does things specifically just to wheedle them and rile them up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. All right, folks, that's the bottom line. We have moved into a time when they want to just offend you. You didn't do what they wanted you to do, so they're going to call you mean names. They're going to tell you that you are a rube, that you're ignorant, that you're a racist and a phobe, because you don't want to go and watch Bad Bunny, some guy you didn't know about 6 months ago, sing offensive lyrics in a language you don't understand, and even the people who speak the language can't understand. And the people at the Super Bowl couldn't even see what was going on because it was all hidden behind a bunch of fake plants that were people in costumes. My, oh my, what has happened to our culture this time? Good night, game over, drive home safely. Folks, this video is done. But before we all head home, we only ask one thing. Folks, as you get ready to head on out, consider clicking that like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those pesky algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below and share your thoughts, for a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Waste not that beautiful personality of yours. And folks, we would say as you get ready to head out the door, that it has been an honor to spend time with you, an attitude of gratitude each and every time that you elect to join together with us. Breaking bread and breaking entertainment, well, the industry. No, we like entertainment. It's the industry that irks us sometimes. Well, it was a good time. We hope you had a good time. Folks, until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.